who still calls Oregon his home. And this is a world-class individual that all athletes can look up to.
Dave Johnson did not become an Oregonian until he moved from Montana to Corvallis for his senior year of high school. That year would become pivotal in the life of the world's best-known bronze medalist. The move to Oregon changed a troubled young life. Dave discovered his faith and a new love, track and field. His immediate success on the track taught Johnson how to set goals and then reach them. A powerful work ethic developed, and Dave would rise from obscurity at Lynn Benton Community College in Western Oregon to the top of the heap in the decathlon. Johnson was actually considered America's best hope in the sport in 1990 after winning the Goodwill Games and the U.S. Championship. But by 1992, fellow Oregonian Dan O'Brien had emerged as a contender, and the overheated Dan and Dave show hit the airwaves. In the wake of Dan O'Brien's no height at the trials, Johnson carried the red, white, and blue to Barcelona. Competing with a broken foot, his toughness and will would carry the 2 days of the decathlon. Johnson's bronze medal was hard-earned and no less impressive than gold or silver. Dave Johnson earned a master's degree in marriage and family therapy, specializing in sports psychology and the impact of relationships on athletic performance. Johnson is very aware of his impact on young children and is always striving to be a positive role model. Dave Johnson, so much more than the second part of Dan and Dave.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Johnson, right here. Have a seat and we'll talk. All right. Grew up in Montana. Got down to the valley eventually, and everything started to roll for you from there. Tell us that story.
It did. My senior year in high school, we moved from Montana to Corvallis, Oregon, and senior year in high school at Crescent Valley High School, I thought the best way to make friends at a new high school, I better go out for sports. You know, I'd quit all sports in Montana when I started high school. And so I went out for football. I lied to the coach. I told him I was a wide receiver. And he believed me, and he stuck me in the position. But what was important is I found out I was fast. I had speed compared to the other athletes out there. Not quite as fast as Dan, but speed compared to other athletes that had been doing it for years. And then a natural ability to catch the ball. And most of all, you know, I think what happened that was very important for me that year was accepting Christ. That senior year in high school was a big opportunity for my life to make some changes and have it be for something else other than myself.
As I recall, your track career started with, you wanted to throw the javelin, and then everything fell into place. Is that correct?
Yeah, it started off in my senior year in high school. I tried the high jump, and I was on the relay team. But once I arrived into college, yeah, for some reason there was a javelin sticking in the ground, and all those years throwing apples at cars and snowballs and rocks, and picked up that javelin, and it flew really well, just naturally. And the coaches were looking at me to just be a javelin thrower, but as I tried the other events, and they mentioned the decathlon word and Bruce Jenner and past Olympic decathletes, I just decided it was a challenge to try all those events all at once and just become as best as I possibly could be in those events and just see where I could end up.
West Albany High School, and now an administrator at Jefferson High School.
Jefferson High School, yeah, not here in Portland. It's out south of Salem.
Yep.
Yeah, administrating and athletic directing, about 300 kids at Jefferson High School, and it's been, again, I look back at my past and how equipped I am to be involved with kids. And
your calling, maybe. Huh?
My calling, exactly. I mean, I mentioned I accepted Christ my senior year in high school, and it's been this incredible journey ever since trying track and becoming a Christian and following the Lord. And now that I'm an administrator and I'm working with kids as an athletic director, I've got all this ability to touch their lives and and coach them through academics, coach them through track and field, and just, you know, I see little Olympians in each and every one of them, and it just drives me nuts that that I can't be around and just follow them wherever they go. And some of them, they do see hope through me, and I'm able to, I'm just able to be in their lives in a positive way, and hopefully they'll make some changes.
Final thought. Your version of the Dan and Dave show.
My version, well,
Yep.
it's Dave and Dan, of course.
Dave,
Is what
that's right. Yeah.
But it's Dan and Dave was a great idea. It was at a perfect time for track and field to promote some athletes that were relatively unknown. We were number 1 and 2 in the world in the decathlon at the time, and my take of that whole experience was it was an honor to be a part of the growth of track and field, and to have that as a vehicle today. To look back at it as a vehicle today, to let kids see who this guy used to be that is making them do detention or something, and they just go, wow, Mr. Johnson, you know, what are you doing here? And I let them know, I'm here because I need to be part of your life, and it's been just incredibly rewarding. So Dan and Dave, to me, is a vehicle to bring up some kids here in Oregon and make them Olympians.
Well, speaking of Oregon, stand up.
All right.
Mr. Johnson. On behalf of the state of Oregon and what you have achieved in life, in sports, and the rest of your life, you are now an official member of the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame. Dave Johnson.